Senior members of the royal family are said to share her concerns and may join her in attempting to encourage politicians to build a consensus to avoid a constitutional crisis.
It means every utterance by members of the firm, especially Prince Charles, the Duke of Cambridge and the Duke of Sussex, will be closely watched for coded messages in response to the toxic state of politics from now on.
The royal crusade to reunite Britain was signaled when the 92-year-old monarch used her unwritten constitutional right to be consulted, to warn and encourage politicians over matters of state.
Queen was urged by Downing Street to call for calm, claims Rees-Mogg Royal News. One's day out at the shoot, she did it in the unlikely setting of a meeting of Sandringham Women's Institute in a village hall at West Newton, near her Norfolk estate on Thursday.
She said, "Of course, every generation faces fresh challenges and opportunities. As we look for new answers in the modern age, I for one prefer the tried and tested recipes, like speaking well of each other and respecting different points of view, coming together to seek out the common ground and never losing sight of the bigger picture."
To me, these approaches are timeless, and I commend them to everyone. The Daily Express understands her office gave Downing Street a copy of her short speech, but sources have insisted that she was not speaking at the request of Theresa May.
The Queen's remarks were seized on by government ministers urging compromise behind Mrs. May's proposed Brexit deal.
Chancellor Philip Hammond said, "I think there is huge wisdom in those words, and I don't think anybody will be at all surprised to hear the Queen advocating the view that in all things controversial we should seek compromise, we should seek common ground, and we should seek a way forward."
That is actually what we do in this country. That is how we solve problems, by compromise and pragmatism.
Health Secretary Matt Hancock and Works and Pensions Secretary Amber Rudd were among other ministers showing their support for the monarch.
A Sky Data poll found 68% of the public thought the Queen was right to speak out about Brexit, while only 13% believed she was wrong.
In her remarks, the Queen did not mention Brexit directly, but it became clear that it was the focus of her remarks.
She touched on the same theme in her Christmas broadcast, saying, "Even with the most deeply held differences, treating the other person with respect and as a fellow human being is always a good first step towards greater understanding."
As head of state, the Queen remains publicly neutral when it comes to political matters and does not express her views on issues.
But she has a history of intervening when she believes the social fabric of the UK is under threat.
Just before the referendum on Scottish independence in 2014, she told well-wishers, "You have an important vote on Thursday."
"Well, I hope people will think very carefully about the future." Robert Lacey, the royal biographer and historian, said the Queen had been an enthusiastic European when Britain joined the common market in 1973.
But over the years she had been influenced by reading countless government papers on problems with Brussels.
"I think she has definitely become more skeptical about Europe," he added. Historian Lord Hennessy said the Queen's appeal for common ground was of immense significance.
But he insisted she was not crossing a line by expressing political views